guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Caira and I make videos all about apartments, moving out, Chicago, some Trader Joe's. Look, if you don't subscribe already, we're a good time here, so you're gonna wanna hit that subscribe button. But today's video I'm super excited for. This is something that you guys have asked me about a ton, and I am finally making a dedicated video, and I'm very excited. I also don't know how I got away with the agreement of this video, but I did. So today's video is all about answering all of your questions about moving in with your significant other. Ayo, significant other.
What kind of shirt do you want me to wear?
That's your cue. Dun da da da.
It is me.
All right, so I put a question box up on Instagram and asked you guys to send me all of the questions you have about moving in with your significant other. So we are here to answer those questions for you. Look a little more peppy.
I'm pumped.
The prompt was, we're doing a Q&A on moving in together for the first time. Hit me with your questions. Let me help you so you don't break up. I'm gonna read the question and I want you to answer first and then I'll answer second.
Okay.
Okay, how long were you guys dating before moving in together?
2 years?
No, we were dating a year. I remember now. We were almost dating 2 years, but we were a very interesting situation because when we moved in together, we had bought our house in Arizona. We didn't rent together before we bought it because we're crazy children. And we've been dating just under 2 years when we bought the house.
We knew each other very well for 2 years before we started dating. So it's not like I met somebody and then 2 years later I bought a house with them.
Yeah, that's true. We were really good friends through college and then dated after college. We also lived together in an apartment in Chicago. I feel like that was really what a lot of these questions are gonna be centered around, because when we moved in together here in Chicago, we were living in a studio apartment. We were doing rent and like had very different expenses, and that was more of what I'm gonna kind of base this video on because I think that's more relevant to you guys. The next question, is a 1-bedroom more than enough space? I feel like I have so much stuff that we need 2.
I don't know their situation.
Okay, so
Too much space compared to what?
Obviously, this depends person to person. We lived in a studio. We lived in a 450 square foot studio in Chicago. We made it work just fine. It's definitely small. You'll definitely have challenges you have to overcome. I didn't have a full-time job anymore and was kind of like coasting, doing this self-employed sort of thing. And we needed to be able to budget and make the most of our money. So for us, a studio really was the best option. We were able to work it out just fine. When you're moving in with somebody, figure out what your budget is together. If you can afford a 1-bed and you prefer a 1-bed, then go for it. But if you're in a situation where it makes more sense for you financially to do a studio, then there'll be challenges, but you can always overcome them.
I feel like a lot of people are like hoarders and they have all this stuff. If like you or I just had a ton of stuff, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of stuff. We don't have a ton of clothes or just like general things. I like to consider myself like a semi-minimalist, and just that like I don't like to keep a bunch of junky things around. I love to constantly purge.
Some people just have all these extra clothes in their closet and they're getting a bigger place to accommodate for that. So now they're paying an extra $300 a month so that they can house these clothes that they don't wear.
You say this like it's ridiculous. You have no idea how many people would pay $300 more a month for a bigger closet. The people do what they want to do. These all kind of like go together, so we're just gonna kind of roll through them. Do you recommend 1 bathroom or 2 for couples?
1 bathroom's cheaper than 2, so 1. I mean,
We've never even lived with 2 bathrooms.
No, we wouldn't need 2 bathrooms. It doesn't bother us at all to be in each other's space. We don't get like grossed out or anything by being in the same bathroom.
I think I would probably prefer to have 1 bathroom because my fear is that if we had 2 bathrooms, I'd probably give him his own because we have 2. And then I would constantly just be so anxious that that bathroom is just absolutely freaking disgusting and I would never want to touch it. Like,
It'll be locked. I'll change the locks and you won't even have the key.
We would just have like 1 really gross bathroom and I would know that's just in my living space. I don't want that for me.
I cleaned this bathroom.
I know you do. Moving on. What do you do when you guys have different taste?
I mean, I'll eat anything.
No, like apartment style.
Oh, I'm so indifferent about the style of apartment that I just defer to your taste.
It's like partially true. You do defer the majority of like the decision making when it comes to our apartment to me. However, I still try and include him as much as possible. When I'm picking out a piece of furniture or a rug or something, I'll show him different options. And as much as you are like super easygoing, you do typically have an opinion when I show you like, do you like this or not? You've shot down some of my ideas like quite often, but it's fine because like—
But you have to narrow it down for me.
Yeah.
If you said, hey Alex, I'm gonna let you decide what rug goes in the living room, I would just never go look for a rug. No. I would just like, I don't really care, it's fine the way it is. We would still not have a rug. But then if you did all your research, you found all the different rugs, you got it down to like 2 or 3, and you said, all right, here's the 3 I'm thinking, I could be like, I like that one the best.
Yeah, that's typically how we do it, and it's worked well thus far. I think up until this point, just because we have been in studio apartments and like our one bed is a one bed, but it's not that big. Majority of our things come down to functionality. Like when it comes to our bigger pieces, it's just been what is the most functional for the space that we need. We already have like a more narrow pool of possible coffee tables or couches because we need a coffee table that has drop legs. We need a couch that has storage and a bed in it. And so it's not like deciding between every piece of furniture in the world. And then yeah, I usually like, I'll pick out a handful of things that I like and then I'll let him pick from there. And I think that's basically how we've done the decor in our house overall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's worked well. How to decide what style of furniture. Me and my boyfriend live separately and have all of our own furniture. It's stressing me out to decide, thinking about who's to keep, etc.
Like why would you care so much? We live separately and we each had a couch. And then we're moving in together and there's only space for one couch. Trying to imagine a situation where both of us are so emotionally attached to this couch that we fight over whose couch gets to go. Like unless it was like my dead grandmother's couch I'm gonna have forever, I gotta reupholster it every year. Like I'll use your couch if you care that much about it.
Yeah. I think a big part of it is not having emotional attachment to your furniture. It's furniture, it doesn't matter. You should have your emotional attachment to your person. Just have a conversation and see which couch is the best fit for you, which couch is more comfortable, which bed do you prefer, which bed is bigger.
Which one could you sell easily?
Try to make it as little of an emotional decision as possible and just look at it as what is the smartest decision for us moving forward. And don't make it like a mine versus his, make it like a, what is the best decision for us as a group?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How do you both manage having alone time and time together?
At the moment, working is very much alone time. You know, we're separate spaces.
Even though we're sat 6 feet from each other, it really is like, I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing. We'll chat every once in a while, but it's not
No time.
Yeah, we're busy.
Even though we're physically in the same apartment for the majority of the day, we're separate.
Yeah.
So it still does feel like
we've got our own time and space. At nighttime, our typical routine after work is I'll make dinner, we'll sit down and have dinner together and watch a show. And then after that, we kind of disperse again and do our own thing. Alex will play video games with his friends. I go into the bedroom and we'll watch a reality TV show or maybe work somewhere for a while. But we're not on top of each other all the time. And even when we lived in a studio, it was basically the exact same thing. Make dinner, hang out, watch a show, and then Alex would play video games. And I just, like in a studio, I didn't have a bedroom to go to, but I'd go sit on the bed and watch TV on my computer. We've kind of gotten into a good routine of making sure we have time together, but also making sure that we have time to do our own thing. This is something that I feel like when I talk to couple friends about, it doesn't click with everyone, and it's been like the most crucial thing in our relationship. You have to let your significant other do what they want to do. The things that make him happiest are video games, golf, and French, probably. Like, those are your three. And so for me to be happiest in the relationship, I need to have a happy Alex in the relationship. And for Alex to be the happiest he can possibly be, I need to be able to let him do the things that he wants to do. It's really important to both of us that I give him time to play video games. It's really important that on days if I want to go hang out with a girlfriend, like he's never going to tell me no. Like you let the people do what they want to do, and then you're just both overall happier. You'll talk about how like friends will go on golf trips and stuff, and their girlfriends will like make them go on dates or things to like allocate that time away. And I think that's not a good way to look at the situation.
It's too transactional. Let's be honest here. I mean, like we're not perfect.
No.
And there's still a little bit of that transactionality, if that's even a word.
Oh my God, I just saw your mom's question. When are you getting married? Thanks, Kim. I didn't see that one until now. We got a lot of questions on this, so I'm gonna kind of lump sum them all together and we'll just answer as like one big whole. Allocating finances, sharing money, splitting expenses. How do you guys split finances, grocery, rent without making it weird? Any tips on splitting expenses? How to split the costs and rent, who pays what? How do you split the expenses, rent, groceries, utilities, etc.? I could split the costs. Oh my gosh, I could go on. There's a lot of them.
There's obvious situations that are very different than ours.
We're not speaking towards what everyone should do. We're just gonna talk about what we've done.
We are two people who out of college both got jobs. Before dating, we were self-sustainable. And we essentially split everything 50-50 from that point on.
Yeah, we bought a house together, everything, 50-50, 100%, like straight down the middle, all utilities, all expenses was 50-50. Granted, we both had good jobs and we budgeted to the point, Alex was making more than me at the time and we could have gotten a bigger place or a nicer place or whatever, but we didn't need to. We really lived within our means. It was comfortable enough for me that we were able to completely split everything 50-50. Now jump forward to Chicago.
We moved to Chicago because of a job opportunity I got here within my company. Caira left her job in Arizona, took on a big risk of being more of this entrepreneur YouTube endeavor here, and you're doing great.
Thank you.
And essentially what that did is it made your income less reliable income.
I basically moved here and took on every single side hustle under the sun. So I was walking dogs, I was doing YouTube as much as I could to make more ad revenue. I was teaching English to kids online in China. So like I wasn't not working, but I didn't have a steady paycheck every 2 weeks like I had when I had a full-time job. So it was quite a bit more of a risk.
For our rent, which was obviously our biggest expense, we did it proportionally.
Yeah, and the reason that we did that was because we picked an apartment in one of the more expensive areas of the city because Alex would be able to walk to work. And moving to Chicago, that was something that was really important to us because we weren't from the city, we didn't know the city at all. We could have gotten a studio for a lot cheaper being further north or being further west or south, but because we lived here, it was more expensive. So because of that, we decided between the two of us that he would pay slightly more in rent than I was paying to make it so we could live in this area so he could walk to work.
And it was like 60-40.
Yeah, we didn't change things too much. And then that was the only thing that was different. From there, utilities, we split 50-50. Groceries is the only other ones. We usually split them 50-50, but homeboy eats a whole lot of snacks and like Cliff Bars and burritos and things that I'll just never touch. So every once in a while, like when I do a big grocery haul, I'll just add up how much all of the Alex food is because sometimes half the grocery bill on its own is just to Alex. And so I'll have him pay that and then plus half of like the general things that we split, like things that I use to make dinner and whatnot. I think the other part is we've gotten to a point in our relationship where like, this guy's not gonna freaking leave me. Try, I dare you. It's no longer this mine versus yours. It's gonna get paid and everything kind of evens itself out over time. Be conscious, don't do things that are outside of your budget. Don't stress yourself thin. But if you're in a place where you can kind of just be like, look, we're in this together, we are paying for things. Sometimes he chips in more, sometimes I chip in more. Yeah. Everything kind of evens out and it just makes everything a whole lot less stressful.
You can't be counting pennies. If you get hung up on those little transactions, it just adds stresses that don't need to be there.
Yeah, I think money is probably one of the biggest stresses typically in people's relationships. And we have always had this mentality of being more 50-50. And I think that that has been something that we did really well off the bat. The only other time that we don't really do 50-50 is like if we go out to dinner sometimes and it's more of a date. Sometimes you'll do the whole thing and you'll be like, this is a date I'm taking out. A lot of the times he'll pay and then I'll Venmo him like half of the check, not including tip.
Yeah, sometimes just to kind of be nice and be the gentleman, I guess, is kind of why I do it. If the dinner bill's $50, I'll say, Caira, Venmo me 20 bucks. And I'll like throw the tip on there and I'll end up paying like 35 with the tip and you end up paying 25. So we split that a little bit. I think it's important to recognize we have the privilege of entering our relationship with parity. We were both equal in terms of self-sustainability when we entered it. Imagine like if we started a relationship and you were the breadwinner and I was just coming in to take your money, you know, or vice versa.
I think that kind of comes with the mentality of making a whole YouTube video about this is I can't speak for everyone, I can only tell you my experience. All right, apparently we're significantly more chatty than I anticipated, so I'm gonna end this video now because we've already filmed for forever. I hope you liked this video. I think we're gonna do a part 2 because I got so many more questions that I think would be really helpful for you guys. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any other questions that you want us to answer, feel free to comment them down below. You can also DM me over on Instagram, and maybe, who knows, we'll do a part 3.
How much you paying me?
No, 50-50. If you don't already, go and follow me over on Instagram. I do lots of these Q&A type videos where I ask for your guys' input and it's been so fun. And if you want to, I do have a Facebook group, which has been so much fun. It's just a community to be able to ask random questions and bounce ideas off of each other. So that link will be down below in the description box as well. I hope you guys liked this video and we'll see you next time.